In a world filled with unexpected events, today we turn our attention to the most significant stories shaping our global landscape. From geopolitical tensions to scientific breakthroughs, each story holds weight in its own right. Here are today's top 10 stories you need to know. A powerful solar flare erupted from the sun yesterday, causing disruptions in global communication systems. This flare, classified as an X-class event, is among the most intense solar activity recorded in recent years. The impact was felt across various sectors, including aviation and satellite communications. Airlines were forced to reroute flights to avoid potential navigational errors caused by the flare. Experts suggest that while such solar events are natural, their increasing frequency could be linked to the solar cycle. Researchers are monitoring the situation closely, as further solar flares may follow. The scientific community is preparing for ongoing studies to better understand these phenomena. In the coming weeks, we can expect more updates on how these solar activities affect technology and our daily lives. Health authorities in Africa have reported a significant escalation in the Ebola outbreak that began earlier this year. The outbreak has now spread to multiple countries, with the World Health Organization declaring a Level 2 emergency. As of today, dozens of confirmed cases have been reported, and the number of fatalities continues to rise. Health workers are facing challenges in containing the virus due to inadequate resources and community resistance. Efforts are underway to provide vaccinations and implement strict quarantine measures. The international community is being urged to assist in the response, as local healthcare systems are overwhelmed. Experts emphasize the importance of rapid intervention to prevent a widespread epidemic. The situation remains fluid, and updates will be provided as more information becomes available. Tensions continue to escalate in Eastern Europe as military movements increase along the borders of several nations. Reports indicate a significant buildup of troops and military equipment in contested regions, particularly near Ukraine and Belarus, raising alarms within the international community. Historically, this area has been a flashpoint for geopolitical strife, especially following Russia's annexation of Crimea in 2014. Analysts suggest that the situation could lead to a potential conflict if diplomatic solutions are not sought urgently. Countries in the region are calling for emergency meetings to address the growing crisis, fearing a repeat of past aggressions. The NATO alliance is monitoring the situation closely, with discussions about potential troop deployments to bolster defenses. Citizens in bordering nations are expressing concern about the implications for their safety and security. As leaders engage in dialogue, the coming weeks will be pivotal in determining whether military tensions can be transformed into constructive negotiations. Southeast Asia is grappling with the aftermath of multiple natural disasters that have struck in quick succession, including severe typhoons and powerful earthquakes. These catastrophic events have caused extensive damage to infrastructure and homes, displacing thousands of residents and leaving communities in dire need of assistance. The region, already vulnerable due to its geographic location, has faced similar challenges in the past, highlighting the urgency of improved disaster preparedness. Emergency services are working tirelessly to provide aid and support to affected communities, but relief efforts are complicated by ongoing weather challenges, with additional storms forecasted in the coming days. The government has declared a state of emergency in the hardest-hit areas, mobilizing resources to assist those in need, while international aid organizations coordinate with local authorities for efficient supply delivery. The resilience of the affected populations is being tested, and recovery will be a long journey. As the situation develops, authorities will conduct further assessments to gauge the full extent of the damage and determine necessary actions. The global economy is experiencing a notable surge in inflation, prompting significant concerns among economists and policymakers alike. Recent reports indicate that inflation rates have reached levels not seen in over a decade, affecting consumer prices across various sectors such as food, energy, and housing. Key factors contributing to this rise include persistent supply chain disruptions and increased demand as nations work to recover from the pandemic's economic fallout. Central banks are facing mounting pressure to adjust monetary policies, striving to stabilize markets while avoiding stifling growth. Consumers are increasingly feeling the financial strain as the cost of living rises, igniting debates about the necessity of wage increases and expanded financial support for struggling households. Vulnerable populations are particularly at risk, highlighting the urgent need for nations to collaborate on effective solutions. As inflationary pressures show no signs of abating, monitoring these trends will be crucial, particularly as governments consider strategies to foster sustainable economic recovery in the coming months. Significant policy changes have been made regarding international climate agreements as world leaders gather to discuss global sustainability efforts. During this crucial meeting, new commitments were announced aimed at reducing carbon emissions by 50% by 2030, a target that reflects the urgency of the climate crisis. These changes arise from increasing evidence that climate change is causing severe weather events, rising sea levels, and biodiversity loss, threatening ecosystems and human livelihoods. Nations are being encouraged to adopt greener technologies, such as renewable energy sources and electric vehicles, to meet these ambitious targets. However, the discussions have sparked a mix of optimism and skepticism among environmentalists and industry stakeholders, highlighting concerns about economic feasibility and the political will to implement these policies. The successful implementation of these initiatives will require substantial investment, international cooperation, and innovative solutions. As countries finalize their strategies, the next climate summit, scheduled for next year, will be pivotal in determining the effectiveness of these efforts and the future of global climate action. Tensions in the Middle East have flared once again, with recent military actions raising alarms throughout the region. Reports indicate increased airstrikes and troop movements amidst ongoing conflicts, particularly in areas where long-standing grievances remain unresolved. The backdrop of these hostilities includes decades of territorial disputes and ethnic divisions that have fueled animosities. International diplomatic efforts are being made to de-escalate the situation, with key players urging involved nations to engage in dialogue and seek peaceful resolutions. The impact of these tensions is being felt globally as financial markets react to instability and humanitarian concerns mount for civilians caught in the crossfire. Reports highlight dire living conditions, with many in urgent need of food, shelter, and medical aid. Observers are calling for a renewed commitment to peace talks, emphasizing that only through dialogue can a sustainable solution be found. As regional powers grapple with their next moves, the potential for a broader conflict looms, underscoring the need for immediate and coordinated international intervention to prevent further escalation. In recent days, significant developments have emerged regarding the regulation of artificial intelligence technologies. Governments across the globe are actively crafting comprehensive policies aimed at addressing the ethical implications and potential risks associated with rapid AI advancements. This comes in response to growing concerns about privacy, bias, and the potential for misuse of AI applications. Recent discussions among policymakers highlighted the urgent need for transparency and accountability from tech companies, emphasizing that these entities must disclose how their algorithms function. Stakeholders from various sectors, including academia, industry, and civil rights organizations, are being consulted to ensure that regulations are robust and inclusive. The focus is on preventing misuse while fostering innovation in the tech industry, striking a delicate balance. As AI continues to influence various aspects of everyday life, the importance of effective regulation cannot be overstated. The next steps will involve extensive public consultations and the drafting of formal legislation. As these discussions progress, the future of AI policy will be shaped significantly, with a particular emphasis on establishing ethical guidelines that prioritize human rights and societal well-being. This could pave the way for a safer and more equitable technological landscape. In the wake of the recent pandemic, nations are coming together to enhance global cooperation on pandemic preparedness. A significant summit was held where leaders from around the globe discussed strategies to improve response mechanisms for future health crises. The COVID-19 pandemic, exposed critical weaknesses in healthcare systems and highlighted the necessity for a unified approach. The focus is on establishing a robust framework that includes sharing data and resources more effectively, ensuring that no country is left behind. Initiatives are being proposed to strengthen healthcare systems, emphasizing the importance of equitable access to vaccines and treatments worldwide. The discussions also highlighted the lessons learned from the current pandemic, aiming to ensure that they are not forgotten. This collaborative effort is expected to foster innovation in vaccine development and distribution. As countries work towards a coordinated response, the need for vigilance remains critical, especially with emerging variants. The next steps include drafting comprehensive action plans and securing funding for these initiatives. The global community is hopeful that these efforts will lead to a more resilient healthcare infrastructure. By prioritizing collaboration and resource sharing, nations aim to better prepare for future health crises and minimize their impact on global health and economies. A powerful earthquake struck the Pacific coast yesterday, registering a magnitude of 7.8 on the Richter scale. The epicenter was located near a major coastal city, resulting in significant damage to infrastructure and buildings. This region is known for its seismic activity, making residents all too familiar with the dangers posed by such natural disasters. Emergency services have reported multiple casualties, with numbers expected to rise as rescue operations continue. Authorities are urging residents to evacuate high-risk areas and seek shelter in safer locations, emphasizing the importance of preparedness in the wake of such events. The tremor was felt as far away as neighboring countries, sparking fears of tsunami waves. Tsunami warnings were issued, but have since been lifted after assessments showed minimal risk. The local government is coordinating with international aid agencies to address the needs of affected communities, focusing on food, medical supplies, and shelter. Recovery efforts are expected to take considerable time as structural assessments and rebuilding initiatives begin. The economic implications are profound, with businesses facing potential long-term closures and disruptions. With the region on high alert, the focus remains on ensuring public safety and providing necessary assistance. As communities begin to assess the damage, local leaders are prioritizing rebuilding efforts to enhance resilience against future seismic events. Thank you for joining us today. Which of these stories shocked you the most? Don't forget to like and subscribe for more updates on global news.